Okay, so this might be the stupidest idea that I've done, but look. If it ends up going really well, okay, then it's not a stupid idea. Because every great idea starts like that. Like, oh, it's stupid, and then it works, and then it's not stupid. You know what I mean? So basically, I'm gonna make our character a schizophrenic, okay? And more importantly, I'm gonna make him not only schizophrenic, but I'll make the players who are playing with him the schizophrenic results. I don't know what, you know those like monsters, like, you know, when you have like schizophrenia and you see like monsters or some shit, like that's what I want other players to be. So basically it's just gonna be a multiplayer game where every single player will not see the other players, but they will still hear them, okay? And every now and then one of the players will just blink into existence for a split second and then go back to not existing, right? And every player will see that too, right? So every single player will have their own version of schizophrenia, and they will see the other players. So the first thing we need to understand is, how do we make a player blink out of existence, okay? Because look at me. Look at this, bro. I got golden headphones, L and R, okay? Basically, I spent $300 on these headphones, so they're really cool. They have this like nice like golden shiny material. Look at that. This is like the closest to like real life you could possibly get on Roblox. But look, okay? That doesn't matter. How do we make my character completely disappear? Well, I could click on the original lamp, but there isn't any like invisibility property. Sure, I could delete the character, but that just will kill me, and I don't really want to do that, right? So then we're left with stuff like pants, shirt, headphones, hands. What is this? Headphones, right? Does headphones have a transparency option? No, it doesn't. Okay. However, you know what does have the transparency option? Let me just bring this here. If I go inside of the headphones, it has a handle, and this model is the headphones, and so this model does have a transparency thing. So there we go. Look at that. He's bald now. Can you believe it, bro? My character used to look like this. Like, you could go back to my older videos, and I used to look like this, bro. What the hell? And now I look like this. Look at that. Major improvement. And so again, this works with literally anything, right? Realistic Chad full body muscle suit. There we go. Transparency. Look at that. Sick. Bro, that is so cool. So yeah, basically every single thing inside of my character that is a mesh part or just a base part in general, because you know in Roblox there's like two different types of parts. So if I look up part, right, we have part, we have you know, all of these other stuff, but all of these are basically the same with the exception of part and mesh part, right? However, if I want to ask Roblox like if something is a part which involves all of these, I can just say is a, right, like so, is a, and then I could ask it if it's a base part, like so. So asking if something is a base part will check if it's either a regular part or like a sphere or a mesh part or anything. So basically, what we could do is we could just go through every single player who isn't us, obviously, check if like the thing that we're looping through the player. So we're gonna go through body colors, then the pants and the shirt, and we're gonna check if that thing is a base part. Makes sense, right? We can't really set body colors to be invisible because it's not a real thing. It's just a storage unit, basically. And if it is a base part, meaning if it, you know, is a handle for the headphones or the hands or whatever, then we'll just set its transparency equal to be 1. Yeah, because 1 is invisible, right? And I can show you this right now, actually. For IV in workspace dot the original lamp not children, descendants. Because a lot of people use get children, but get children only gets these items, right? So, but get descendants, it gets all of these items and also what's inside of those items as well, and what's inside those items. So get descendants gets everything, while get children only gets the items and like by themselves, and it doesn't go through the items inside of those items. I know I'm saying the word items a lot, but hopefully you understand, right? We'll go through the thing, yeah, get descendants. V is going to be equal to the actual item that we're looping through. So then I'll say do, right? So for I V in get descendants do. That's how you start a loop. Then I'll check if V is a base part, so if it's just a regular part, or not a regular, sorry, if it's just any part, a regular part, a mesh part, a sphere, a wedge, whatever, then v dot transparency is going to be equal to 1, end, like so. So if I do it like this, let's see, for iv, if v, then return end, and then I think I need another end, because this end is finishing the if statement, and then this end is finishing the for loop. So let's try this out. There we go. And okay, small problem, the face is still visible because the face isn't a part, but it's like an image, right? But like, honestly, what are we thinking? I don't know. Because like if you're schizophrenic and like you just see a face, I don't know, it's kind of cool. You know what? Honestly, let's keep the face. Okay, I'm okay. I'm okay with the face being here. You also can see the shadows a little bit, which I'm not a big fan of. So I think another thing we have to do is also to turn off the cast shadow property of every single part, because every part has a thing called cast shadow. And if I turn this off, then the shadow disappears. So I think that's also something for us to do. But okay, nice. So we figured out everything that we basically need to script, and now let's actually script it. I'm gonna go to local script, like so, starter player script. The reason it's a local script and not like a regular basic server script is because a server script changes something for everyone, right? So for example, if inside of a script, I want to make it so that every single player is invisible except for me, right? Well, how is that gonna work if there are 2 players, right? So let me show you an example, right? What if I just create 2 rigs, block avatar and then let's say my avatar, okay? And so let's say we have these 2 avatars, right? And what if, you know, this avatar, what I want to happen is that when this player logs in, I want me to be invisible, but he isn't. So in his eyes, I'll be invisible, but he won't. But for me, I want him to be invisible, but not me. So how do I do that? Well, if we use a server script, that's a problem, because let's say if inside a server script I say to like, okay, whenever a player gets like added to the game, make it so that everyone but them is invisible. So then this guy's gonna be invisible, even to him, but we don't want that. But if I do it in the local script, then only I will see the change. So if inside a local script I say like, okay, when I join, I want everyone else to be invisible, only I will see the other players as invisible. So this will be a change that only I can see and not anyone else. And that's exactly what we want. That's what schizophrenia basically is. It's all local. You see something that isn't actually there, right? Or maybe it is, I don't know. Because a lot of people have like these conspiracies of like, oh yeah, what if a schizophrenic person is like actually a real person? And what if everyone else is like an agent of the Matrix? and then like they can't see the monsters, but then they actually are real. That's a fire conspiracy, by the way. Like, I don't know, bro, I don't know. All right, so what we're gonna do, right, is this script will run the moment the player joins the game, okay? So we know that the player just joined the game. So what I'll do is I'll say for I, comma v in game.players get players, right? So for every single player inside of the game, we're gonna say, okay, if v, so v right now, actually no, you know what I'll do? I'll set this to player, okay? So if player, and we wanna check if the player we're looping through is not us, okay? So, and the way we can do this is just say if player is equal to game.players.localplayer, .localplayer meaning us, right? So if the player we're looping through is us, then we don't want to do anything. So we can say then continue end. Continue just means, okay, move on to the next player. So continue just means, okay, just halt this code and move on to the next item, the next player basically, right? Makes sense, right? And so now that we know that, okay, this player we're going through is not us, and so now that we know that this player isn't us and it's some other random, you know, loser or whatever, we need to get their character, okay? That's very simple. Local car is equal to player.character or player.character added.wait. Basically, we're getting the character, or if the character hasn't loaded in, then we're getting the, we're waiting for the player's character, right? So now that we have the character, I guess we could just check, if not car, then continue end. Who knows, maybe the player just doesn't have a character for some reason. And so now we just got to make them invisible, right? So for I, or not, sorry, no I, because we're already doing I here. So I already exist as a variable. So we need another name. And because I'm a very creative person, I'll just add on another I, okay? So for I, let's say part in car get descendants, remember descendants, do, and we'll just say if part is a base part, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna say parts.transparency is equal to 1, part.cast shadow is equal to false, and also part.can_collide is equal to false, okay? So this should basically make it so that we are able to walk through the other player. Although, I don't know, do we want something like this? Because we do want it to be like schizophrenic, right? Because I'm just thinking right now, do we even want to remove like the shadow? Because it's gonna look more scary if there's just a random face with a shadow. You know what? Okay, let's remove cast shadow, and we'll have can collide. Okay. You know what? Actually, no. Let's remove that as well. So part.transparency, can collide. The one thing that I'm thinking we also probably might want to do is we want to go to the humanoid, and we want to set the display distance. What is this called? It's like display distance something. Yeah, basically we want to set this to be none, okay? Because if it's viewer, we'll be able to see the player's name, okay? But I don't want us to be able to see their name. I just want to like see their face or whatever. Because if we see everyone's name, that loses the schizophrenic element, right? So we can do this, and then we can say if part is a humanoid, right? Then part dot display distance type, right, which is an enum humanoid display distance type, and we'll set it equal to, like I said, enum humanoid display distance type dot none, okay, like so. And yeah, I mean, I think that's effectively it. I think the other thing that we also might want to do is whenever a new player gets added into a game, we also want to do that, because, you know, this is just for existing players. But what if a player gets added? We want to set them to be invisible as well, right? So game.players, player added, connect function, we'll get the player who got added. And I guess we basically just do all of this code then. So yeah, if player is this, then continue end, local car. Oh, right, okay, we can't do continue. We need to do return. Because continue only works with a loop, right? But return just works with like these functions. So return, local car, if not car, then return end. And then we're doing the same thing. Okay, awesome, yeah, perfect. And so let's see, if I just play the game right now, will it make me invisible? No, it won't. Awesome, okay. Obviously, these aren't invisible, but that's just because they aren't players, right? So to actually test this properly, I'd have to then go and run my own server with, like, you know, 3 or 4 players, which I will do in a bit. But real quick, I just want to add the finishing touch of, like, every single, like, let's say, I don't know, 5 seconds, it just randomly picks out one random player and just quickly, very, very quickly, for like a split second, makes them visible and then makes them invisible, okay? So let's say while task.wait, let's say 7 seconds, okay? Do. So every 7 seconds, we're just gonna pick out a random, like a player at random, and then make their character visible, okay? So, so let's say local rand player, okay, is gonna be equal to game.players gets players. So this will basically return a table of every single player. But the thing is, I want a random player, okay? So the way we can get a random player from this list of players is we need to give it a number over here. So we need to give it either a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or however, whatever maximum amount of players there are. So let's say there are 10 players, okay? So we need to say, okay, math.random, right? Which will give us a minimum number and a maximum number. So the minimum is 1, right? Because there has to be at least 1 player in the server, right? So the minimum is going to be 1. But then we need to get the maximum number, which is going to be the amount of players in the game. So how can we get the amount of players that are currently playing the game? Well, we can just do this, right? We can copy this, we can get the table, but then just put a hashtag in front of it. Putting a hashtag in front of a table basically makes all of this equal to a number, which is going to be the number of items in the table. So if this table has 10 players, then this hashtag will make this entire like string of code equal to just 10. So this is the equivalent of just writing 10, right? But obviously we don't know how much players there are, so this will just give us the actual amount of players. Yeah, I hope that makes sense, right? If not rand player dot character, so if there's no character, then continue end, and continue because, like I said, this is a loop, right? And then we just need to do a similar thing where we'll say like, okay, for I, comma v in rand player dot character gets descendants do, right? And then again, we'll say if v is a base part, then v dot transparency is equal to 0. And actually no, a small problem here though is that there is an item, there's a part inside of every single character called a humanoid root part. Okay, so let me show you. It's over here, a humanoid root part. But the thing is, this part is invisible by default, because if I make it invisible, it's gonna be like this weird brick in the player, which you can't see in my character because my character is like big and everything. But like if you take a small character and like, you know, you try and make their humanoid root part visible, it's gonna look like this, which isn't nice. So I don't want the humanoid root part to be actually visible, right? So we also need to check, okay, if it's a base part and v.name is not humanoid root part, right? So that should take care of everything. And then we can just say task.wait 0.1. So it's gonna stay visible for 0.1 seconds. And then we're gonna do the same thing and then set it to be invisible. And I guess I'll just remove this line. yeah, so every 7 seconds, it's gonna find a random player who I just realized should not be us. How do we do this? We need to get a table that isn't going to include our own character. Okay, let's do this. You know what? Local player table is equal to, no wait, game.players get players, right? So this will basically return a table that contains a bunch of players. And so what I'm thinking we do is we can loop through this table. So for IV in player table, do, right? And so here v is going to be equal to the actual item in the table. So we can just check if v is equal to game.players local player, right? So if this item in the table is us, then we're going to say table, and I think there's like remove. Yeah, table.remove. So it's going to ask us for the table, which is player table, and then the position, which is a number, and I is the number, right? So basically just we give it I. So if we're looping through something and this thing is our player, then we get the number or like the position of our player, and we remove the position, meaning we remove the player, right? Yeah, and so then instead of saying game.players, we can just use this variable, like so, player table, like so. And I guess a small little thing as well is we also need to ensure that, like, because what if we're the only ones playing, right? So that's not going to work out, because if we're the only ones playing and it removes us, well then this is going to be 0, and so this will cause an error. So I'll just say if player table hashtag is less than 1, then continue end. Beautiful, there we go. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. So now let's try running the game with let's say 3 players, and let's see what happens. All right, let's see. And interesting. Okay, look, okay, yeah, so this, okay, they're all invisible. What's gonna happen? Okay, so I like the fact that this works. It gave me a little error. Oh, there we go, look at that, it blinked. Yes, we can see the faces. And we can actually collide with them. Oh, there we go, blinked again. Yeah, so every 7 seconds a random person just blinks. What about this guy? Blinks again. Fascinating. Another small concern, actually, I just realized is we also might want to make it so that the table like gets a player added into them when like a new player joins the game, because as you can see, it's only blinking this player. So maybe this player joined first, and then we made the table for them, and then this player didn't get added to our player table. So that might be something to fix. But yeah, look at that. Schizophrenic update, bro. And look at that, we don't even see them from the back, only from the front. Look at that. Can I hit it from the, no, okay, I'm not saying that.
What the Sigma?
Yeah, there's like a small issue. I don't even know what this means, but look, it's good. This works. Like I said, we just got to do a quick fix where, like, you know, we add every single player who joined inside of the player table. But yeah, this works. All right, yeah. Like I said, real quick, we probably do want to make the table half players. I'm thinking what we can do is we can make the table at first. We can make it just at the beginning of the thing, and then we can make it like this over here. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna do the loop here. So we're basically making the table first things first, and then what we're gonna do, I'll just remove it over here, like so. Wait, what am I doing? Yeah, so like I said, table.insert, we're gonna give it the table, which is the player table, and then the value is gonna be the player who joined the game, right? Very nice. And a real quick thing, we probably also want to remove a player from the table once they leave the game. So that's also very easy. Players, player removing, connect function, that gives us the player, and so we can just say for IV in player table do, if v is equal to the player, meaning the player who, you know, is leaving, then we can do table.remove, we give it the table, which is player table, and then we give it the position, which is the I. There we go, end. So again, I don't want to run the whole server again because that does take a while to load, but yeah, there we go, bro. Schizophrenic update. You know what I'll do? I'm gonna release this as a game to my ByteBlock's official Roblox group, and I'm gonna link this game in the pinned comment, so, you know, go play that with like people and everything. In fact, I'm actually gonna make it right now. Okay, let's save it to Roblox. Schizo simulator. Yeah. All right, the creator. Let's do ByteBlock's official. That's my group, right? Genre, all whatever. Save. All right, there we go. There's our game. And I'm gonna real quick. You know what I'll do? The original. Oh, it's not letting me name it that, bro. What do I call it? Can I really not name it Schizo Simulator? Does it not let me do that? That is crazy. Words for schizo. Hallucination. Or no, you know what? Paranoia simulator. There we go. Please, okay. And also what I'll do is I'll enable microphone, so you can talk to people. You can like whisper in their ear. And yeah, so there you go. Now you can be schizophrenic with other people inside of Roblox.
1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5,
I mean, Roblox
8,
calls
9,
these
9, 1, 7,
experiences,
7.
right? So there you go. There's your schizophrenic experience. Do subscribe. Check out the course in the description. And as always, we are back to basics. Thank you for watching.